work. You know, when I got started and was attempting to be a copywriter, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have any formula. I didn't know what was really important in the sales letter, what I focus on. So that's today what I want to reveal to you. I remember I would write letter after letter and print them up back then on a dot matrix printer and mail them out. And I get no freaking response. It was very frustrating. Or I ran back then on AOL and I ran these little freaking classified ads, and you would have people email you if they wanted info, and then you would email them back your sales letter. Yeah, real clever, right? Actually, some people made really good money doing that back then. But the thing is, my letters didn't get any sales or orders, and it was a very frustrating thing. And so back then, the only sales copy formula I had was AIDA, and actually, attention, interest, desire, action is not a bad formula. It's just that there's other things you need to know about sales copy. So I'm going to reveal 3 of the most important ones today. Thank you for joining me. My name is Marlon Centers, sold 70,000 plus products online. Been doing this full time since 1997, and I can help you in your marketing and make more sales using sales letters. I don't care what you sell. I don't care if you sell plumbing. I don't care if you're a dentist. I don't care if you're a chiropractor. I don't care if you're a coach or you're a PLR seller. It does not matter. I don't really care. Sales letters can and will help you. So let me go ahead and give you the secrets here and part of the formula. Now, number 1 is the only reason people are going to buy from you is benefits. That's it. There's only one reason people buy from you is benefits, or, maybe more modern terminology is the word payoffs. I just did a whole webinar training seminar about this. But people buy because of what they're going to get. You may have heard of the term whiff 'em, what's in it. For me, I know this sounds simple, but actually even copywriters will disagree with, oh no, there are other reasons people buy other than benefits. It's just no, there's not. It's the only reason people buy is the payoff or the benefits to them. Now, number 2, make a strong promise in your headline. You promise to solve a problem. You promise to help them get something that they want. There's a thing called the 4 U's, and Michael Masterson, to my knowledge, created, and they're very useful. Ultra specific, urgent, useful, and let me see. I probably can't even, this is really bad. Ultra specific, urgent, useful, and unique. Yeah, don't freaking forget the unique. You want all of those in a headline. Sometimes that's a tall order, right? Sometimes it's a tall order. But your headline is so important. It's called the ad for the ad. And then, I didn't know this, but 80% of your results come from the headline, roughly. It's hard to know this scientifically. But from the headline and the lead, the opening of the letter, because that determines if they're going to read the rest of it. So you need to nail the headline and lead. And if your letter is not converting, the very first thing that you think about doing is change the headline, change the lead, see what happens. I've done that many times. You know what? Sometimes one headline and lead will outpull another one crazily so. And if you have a lot of traffic, like I had a sales letters where I had so much traffic coming to the sales letter, I could actually just keep changing the headline and the lead on the fly because traffic was pouring in. And so actually, I just keep changing it until sales started coming in. It's a true story. Like if you got enough traffic, it's a lot easier because you could literally just start changing the headline and the lead of the sales letter on the fly while the traffic is coming in. And all of a sudden, you'll start getting sales like popcorn. It's freaking amazing. Now, that's why it's really great to have a lot of traffic. It really sucks to not have a lot of traffic because if you don't have a lot of traffic, you got to do slow split testing or other methods. It's a lot slower. Now, so the only reason people buy is benefits. And again, people will argue with this, even copywriters that know better. It's amazing. Number 2, your headline and your lead. Now, number 3 is something you won't read from Michael Masterson or anyone else to my knowledge. Although he certainly wouldn't disagree with it. He's unbelievable at sales copy. But here's what it is. if your headline stretches believability, then put proof up front in the letter. Put some proof up front in the letter. Gore actually does this in their letters. If you know anything about Michael Mester. Now you say, Marlon, the thing is, I don't sell how to make money. I don't sell business opportunity. I sell widgets to Eskimos or what. It does not matter. I use what's called often use, probably should use it more than I even do, what's called a me to you letter. So like right now, it's me to you talking, right? And so when I do a letter, the best thing, the way I like to write it, and this goes back to the early 1900s when people actually did send letters. You'd open the letter and it would have your name and your address, and it would say, Dear Marlon. And it was written personally, as though it was written personally to you. Well, this is called me to you copy. It's a lost art. Today, quite frankly, most sales letters sound like brochures. They're not a letter. They're not written me to you. It's just a bunch of stuff that was stuck on the page. Features, benefits, and crap, right? There's no letter there. There's no me to you copy. And the most powerful thing, because sales letters were called salesmanship in print. So let me most powerful thing is when you're talking. Personally, Jay Abraham used to take the Joe Carbo book, Lazy Man's Way to Riches, and read one of the chapters because Joe wrote this incredible letter to sell a car, if I recall. And it was written in me to you sales copy language. And it was very powerful, right? So let's say that I was a chiropractor and I wanted existing patients who had become inactive to come back in to my chiropractic workshop. And I'm going to offer them, instead of a free treatment, which is what everybody does, think what I would do. Some people offer them a free workshop. Now, if you're a chiropractor, you may or may not do work. So let's just say it's a free workshop. And it would say, Dear John, I know in the past you came in for chiropractic treatments. I want to check up and see if you've segmented your list. You can insert the problem. I want to check up and see how your back pain is doing. Recently I uncovered 3 methods that my clients have been having good results with, especially to help with lower back pain. And what I'm doing is a seminar that you can come to for free at my office. And, my whole staff will be here. Sally, who works at the front desk, will be here. And Jimmy, who works in the back, will be there. And we'll have some of my good patients in there, clients in the clinic, probably about 10 or 12 people. It's small and it's intimate. But I just wanted to share with you these 3 things that you can do on your own. You don't have to buy anything from me. You don't have to give me any money, but 3 things you can do on your own to help with your lower back pain. And if you do these 3 things for the next 30 days, I think you're going to find out it makes a real difference. I'd really love to share these things with you. And if you'd like to come in, could you just let us know by dropping an email to me at, doctor@blahblah.com. The reason is it'll just help us kind of plan for the seating for the seminar. And it's going to be Thursday at, 6 p.m. We'll have some refreshments, and we'd love to have you come in. Sincerely, Dr. Jones, right? Now, that's an example of me to you copy, right? Now, I could make it longer. I could go in. Here's some of the things you're going to discover during this workshop. And I could have bullet points that would help arouse or create curiosity, right? But anyone can use letters like this. I used to eat at a vegetarian restaurant. Unfortunately, it's not in business anymore. But I want you to think about this. How could a vegetarian restaurant write a me to you letter? Could be very, very simple. Hey, Marlon, it's Jim here at, XYZ vegetarian restaurant. I don't know if the info in our is correct, but Sally, or one of our head waitress here doesn't recall seeing you in here. much in the last month. And so what we wanted to do is just to invite you back in, because we believe so strongly in vegetarian food. And, it's kind of easy to fall off the bandwagon. You eat it a little bit, but then you start eating meat or this or that and the other. And so what we want to do now, you can invite them to a workshop called the Vegetarian Lifestyle, right? What we want to do is we have 3 new vegetarian dishes, and they're really delicious. Let me tell you about them. Number 1 is a chili, and it will practically melt in your mouth, and it's so tasty. A lot of the vegetarian chilies aren't good because of this, that, or the other. But this one, the texture of it and the taste and everything, it's not too hot, it's not too spicy, but spicy enough that you will love it. And the second one is we came up with a new way to have kale soup. Now, kale's like the hardest freaking thing in the world to make taste good, but we came up with this recipe for kale soup. I got it from a master chef, and man, I'll tell you what, you're going to smack your lips over it. And then the third one is whatever, right? So we'd like to invite you to come in. We're having what we call our vegetarian night tasting. You'll get to meet some of our other customers here at the restaurant. I think you're going to love it. And we're going to have a tasting of all 3 of these. I think your mouth is going to water. And by the way, we also have a book here that we're selling at cost called The Vegetarian Lifestyle. Not making a profit. I just sell it for what I pay for it. You might want to pick up a copy of that. And I've written a report, 10 things that you can do to get your cholesterol down, to live a healthier lifestyle, to have more energy, and to sleep better. And the report's free just for coming in for our little vegetarian tasting event. It's Thursday, the blah, blah, blah date. And if you just do me a favor and go over to this page and put in your name and email, let me know that you're coming so we can plan to have enough food for everyone. If you got any questions, feel free to call us. Here's the number. Best wishes, John Jones, owner. That's how you would write a letter to promote an event at a vegetarian restaurant. You can do this for anything. I don't care what you sell. I don't care who you sell it to. You can write a me to you letter for anything. You can upgrade customers. Dear John, I see you purchased so-and-so. Congratulations. You made a really great decision, and here's why. You reiterate the benefits of what they bought. Now, you may be wondering, now that I have X, what's really the next step? And I want to share with you my own personal experience, and then you just tell your personal story. See, this is called a me to you letter. Nobody does them anymore. It's very rare. You won't find hardly anyone that knows how to write letters like this. It's a bit of a lost art, because a lot of people write letters and they make it sound too stuffy. English you learned in college. Then other people, they make it too salesy. And that's easy to do. I probably do that sometimes. It's easy to become too salesy. You don't want to do that. What you want to just do is talk to people. And if you will just talk to people in the letter and do it me to you, you can sell anything. You can promote anything to anyone. I don't care if it's your church or organization, you're a coach, you're a consultant, you're an info product seller, you sell services, you got an agency business, you sell to dentists, chiropractors, doctors, you sell to plumbers or TV repairmen or whoever, washing machine repairmen. I don't care who it is. And you know what? Nobody does this. I'm going to give you an example. How many people have come out, fixed your plumbing, fixed your washing machine, done something in your home, mowed your lawn, did tree service? How many of them ever sent you a follow-up personal letter at all, or B, sent you a follow-up, more than one follow-up letter, checking in to see how the service is for you, letting you know that there's a couple other things that you can do in addition to tree trimming that they can help you with, right? Oh, did you know that we have these watering sticks? And if you will put 5 of these at the base of your tree, it will help your tree get all the nutrients that it needs. And we're having a special on these this month and blah, 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 right? It's like nobody ever does that. Nobody ever does that. I mean, they don't even give you a magnet for the refrigerator, which, you know, if you're in a home service business, that's like the lowest common denominator thing you could freaking possibly do. They don't even just send you a postcard, other than your dentist who sends you one on your birthday and your life insurance agent. Now, you know, my life insurance company sends out a few letters under the name of the lady who runs the office, and they're okay letters, but they really don't feel they're short. They're 1 page. They're not particularly educational. And I'm just being honest, they're bland and they're boring, and it doesn't come off like it's coming from a real person. Comes off like it's coming out of a template that every freaking insurance agent in the entire nation uses. Dear Marlon, did you know you can save 15 to 20% on your car insurance? You got your homeowner's insurance with that. You're thinking you might like a code on your car insurance. That's all right. I'm sure they get business from it. But you certainly write a lot better letter than that. That's a me to you letter. No one does this. They don't have any structured follow-up sequence. God knows it. Now, this applies to email. It's not just about direct mail letters. It applies to email, anything that you're doing that's a communication to another human being. It applies. I don't care who it is. I don't care what you're selling. I don't care if you're selling to big ticket investors, corporate CEOs. You think corporate CEOs don't respond to something that's personal, that's me to you, that's talking directly to them? Of course they do. They're people too, right? And that's the lost art today. That's why copywriting has gone to Hades in a handbasket, is because everybody writes brochures. Everybody writes over the top hype, and I do that a lot. I don't do me to you stuff enough, but let me tell you what I did do recently, and it would work for any business. Don't care what you're selling to. You go to a web page, but you know, in WordPress or whatever, but instead of like doing your usual sales letter crap, that's probably a lot more like a brochure than it is an actual letter to a human being. You format the page like it's a real freaking letter. And you actually write a real letter to your customer that's me to you, heart to heart. When was the last time you got something like that or saw something like that? I do that with my customers, and I think it works, because who doesn't like being treated like a person instead of another number on the email list, right? And this applies to emails too. Now, some emails, I'd say some emails are more personal. So I see more of the problems probably it depends on the person writing the emails, but I see more of the problems on the landing pages, right? Because everybody, you know, what happens is that the web is very visual. So everybody thinks about the graphics. They got all these splashy graphics. They got really pretty stuff. And some of it looks darn cool. You're like, dang, man, they got a good freaking graphic designer. I bet they ain't cheap. But like the copy is, because designers don't know how to write copy, and they get control over the thing one way, because everybody wants it to look pretty. They don't know if it's good copy or bad copy. They just know they want it to look good when Aunt Sally looks at it, or their, you know, somebody in their business. Oh yes, that's a really good looking web page you have there, John. Right. But instead of that, the focus, at least in me to you copy, is on the copy talking to the person, because people don't, I mean, there's some people that buy because of graphic design. I'm not going to say there's not any, but dominantly it's hard to make sales without words, because you're talking to another human being through a medium that's called language. I mean, if you want to go back to just selling with pictures only, it's called caveman art. Caveman communicated with pictures. But this thing called language happened to be invented. And So the most effective thing I think you can do is talk to another human being and write to another person. This is not done today. All right. I don't know if this gives ideas, but you can use these letters to sell additional product or service, to sell the first product or service, to get people to attend a training or a webinar, to get people to get a trial of a newsletter or buy your newsletter. In the info product business, to get them to buy a course or to schedule a coaching call. Like, this is how it works to book coaching calls. You got a VSL that presents a lot of proof. And it's kind of, a lot of times it's authoritative and a little over the top, depending on the video sales letter. And then they send you to a booking form and everything. And you don't really particularly feel like you're dealing, you don't even feel a connection to the person. I mean, yeah, you may book because you're like, wow, that's a lot of proof you got there, dog, right? But there's nothing personal about it. You don't feel like they're talking to you, that nothing. And like, think about this. If the video sales letter is this authoritative, just proof thing, here's the problem, pain, blah, blah, blah. You already know, you get on the sales call and you're on this little track and they're reading the script, and you could just swap you out during the call with somebody else and they'd even never freaking know it. It'd be the same call. You can stick 10 different people on there and they say the same freaking thing. You already know that. There's no personal anything to it. I don't know. I think it's bad marketing. I think it's bad selling. This is not the history of direct response. This is not where we came from. This is not our roots. Nobody knows the roots anymore. But the roots were back in the early 1900s. We mailed letters to people. Yeah, I know. It's quite a concept, right? But the difference back then and difference today is, back then it was personal. They actually had stenographers. They would have a whole team of stenographers that would personally write letters to customers. It's very powerful, right? It was expensive. It was costly. But, selling B2B, they had a good margin. Today, no, you got mass-produced letters. Which can be okay if it's written in media copy. A lot of them aren't. I'm not saying they're not. There are some really great direct mail copywriters still around who know how to write media copy. But I think a lot of it gets lost because it's easy to get caught up in writing hype stuff, or it's easy to get caught up in writing brochure sites because you see big people do it and they hired some fancy design. All the money went to the designer, not the copywriter. They used a good copywriter, but the copywriter knows how to write brochures. They're very good at writing brochures. They ain't good at communicating with sales copy. All right, Marlon Sanders here. You have a great day. I'll be back on another video probably tomorrow. Bye for now.